Juddmonte International. Steve, I'll come to you first, just so we get a line from you. But let me give you prices first of all. Baaeed is 1.42. Mishrif is 5.4. Native Trail is 10.5. High Definition is 70. 75 Dubai Honor. And Sabuska, winner over course and distance last time, is 160. Steve Jones, I'm sure you're very well, and take us through the Juddmonte International.
Yeah, I'm very well. Thank you, Tom. Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, wonderful race this. It's the 10 furlong highlight of the summer. You know, everyone knows that Frankel won it 10 years ago, and since then been some tremendous winners, including Mishrif last year. It was really impressive. And that makes this a fascinating race with Baaeed, of course, unbeaten so far, having won the Sussex Stakes last time out and the Queen Anne before that. In comparisons to Frankel are very prevalent, because Baaeed is gone through with 9 out of 9 and steps up in distance to 10 furlongs for the first time in this race, just like Frankel did. If he's impressive as Frankel was 10 years ago, which was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen live, then he's doing all right. But the opposition is there, and it's probably the stiffest test he's ever faced. I don't think he'll have any problem with 10 furlongs, Baaeed. But Mishrif, going back to 10 furlongs, having run in the King George and not run particularly well, but he fluffed the start that day, was always playing catch-up. But that has become a little bit of a worrying trait for Mishrif at the stalls, and it's kind of the main worry is because he was unlucky in the Eclipse a little bit. I thought he ran really well in the Eclipse, but fluffing the start sort of makes it the back of my mind whether he fancies it so much these days. And for that reason, if I was able to bet without the favourite, I would bet Native Trail, who is the 3-year-old who won the Irish Guineas, runner-up in the Guineas at Newmarket, and was third at Sandown, first run over 10 furlongs. I think this track will suit him. I think York will suit Native Trail. He's got a lot of speed, and he might be the main danger to Baaeed, but in the win market, I think it's very difficult to take Baaeed on. He's a champion, and I think he'll win, but it's not for me for betting purposes. But I might throw a bit at Native Trail without the favourite.
I'll jump in because I genuinely think at that price it's very easy to take Baaeed on. I think that if you look at his pedigree, he's screaming out 10 furlongs. But there's something about how he races, what he did at good, just the way he goes about it, the way he quickens. I don't know. And if they get a bit of rain as well, and it becomes a bit more testing. I mean, I don't know how much they're going to get, but it's just, and York can be an absolute graveyard. I know it doesn't always work out like that, but you know, remember Tagruda getting turned over at odds on. Golden Horn got turned over. I just think he's well worth taking on. I'm genuinely not hand on heart convinced he wants to go up in trip, even though his brother is a Group 1 win over a mile and a half. I'm not convinced. And then you've got the fact that there was a dirty scope in the yard. That's my dog sneezing. I think there's enough there to take him on at what was he, 1.4? I've forgotten now. 1.42, did I read out? 1.4. Yeah. Mishrif might have gone at the game. Totally get that. Native Trail, am I convinced at him over 10? Not necessarily, but you know, it's a good guineas this year. And the one I want to back in every way possible is Dubai Honor. So I want to back him without the favourite, and I want to back him win and place. I think this horse is massively underestimated. Now, I know he got beaten by Sabuska last time, which is ultimately it's not good enough to be within 12 lengths of Baaeed. But if you look at the peak of his form last year, he's an early 120s horse, and you know he's all but a Group 1 winner. His form is very good last year. And then he was a bit disappointed. I don't think he's a mile and a half horse, and he was a bit very disappointing on his comeback run this year off the back of a little bit of an absence. But he wouldn't have been fully tuned up. I think he's underestimated Dubai Honor, win and place without the favourite, and I want to lay Baaeed. And if Baaeed goes and wins, great. But I honestly, I got a feeling he won't. Dees.
Yeah, laying Baaeed is probably the smart bet, but I don't want to be there hoping that he'd lose. These kind of potential super horses are so rare. I'd actually love to see him go on and win and have a great end to the season before he retires. But I agree with Jonesy. I think Native Trail without is probably the bet at the prices. I thought after the Guineas he needed to step up to 1 mile 2 when he ran a cracker in the Eclipse, and just if he progresses on a small bit of season title as a 3-year-old, I think he could run a big race. I mean, there's seems to be questions about Mishriff, is like no one really seems too hot in him, even at 5.5. Like I'd rather take nearly double that price on Native Trail to finish second to Baaeed. Just as long as this is always a brilliant race, and I hope it just turns out that way again this year.
Okay. Tom Leach says I'm on Baaeed 3.0 anti-post. Well done, Tom. Delighted for you, but very good. Good shout. Andrew, afternoon. Giles, afternoon. Chris, morning. Don't know where you are, Chris, but hello, everyone. Also, can we just get Deasy back up on screen? There he is. I don't know if everyone can see it, but there's sort of a burning hole in your head there, Deasy. Are you aware?
I'm on a green screen. I don't know how much more supposed to say.
You know that stroke advert where it's like the fire in the head? It looks a little bit like that. Yeah. Don't do the face. That's perfect. That's looking good.
I'm not in my usual room now. I'm in a new room here, and I'm completely out of my comfort zone. And obviously, my head is on fire.
Well, I've got to say the background looks superb.
It's a great welcome offer, as you can see here every time I'm on the screen. £30.
And we're going to get to that £30 welcome offer for new customers only.
Stealing your thunder, Tom. Sorry.
No, not at all. No, listen. Maybe, in fact, Deasy's going to do it when we get there because you're the Matchbook man. So we're flexible in the podcast. All right. Anybody got anything else to say about the Juddmonte International?
I do, yeah. If Dubai Honor beats Baaeed, it'll be like that time that the Nicky Henderson horse beat Boover there. What was the horse's name? But Nico looked sick when he got past the line.
Yeah, the filly, Verdana Blue.
Verdana Blue, I was thinking Murray's Rock. I'd say if that happens, Haggis will kill Tom Marquand. But anyway.
I mean, that's a very good. I know that's a very good point, but anyway.
I don't think that won't be in Tom Marquand's mind. I'd say he's definitely going to try and win the race, but I'd say they'd be sick.
Anyway. I'm going to after time and remind everyone that I did tip up Verdana Blue to do just that in the Christmas hurdle. So there you go.
And you were right about laying in Spiral as well. We have to put that up there now.
Chris is in Trinidad. Chris, I'm jealous. Steve, what were you going to say?
I like the way that you say that Baaeed there'd been a dirty scope in the yard, and then you put up the stablemate.
Listen, Steve.
I didn't make me young. And then your dog sneezed in sympathy. Even he realises it's a bit daft.
He sneezed because he went to visit Haggis's the other day, so he's come back with something. Steve, listen. You know what happens? We fit the lines to fit our tips, all right, and that's how it goes. But I'd rather pay Dubai Honor at the prices. I managed to keep a straight face as it was coming out of my mouth anyway. Right, let's move on.
Good.